Imagine a light shining through the darkness of figure rooted in prophetic heritage, a grandson of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, traversing the world with quiet wisdom, patience, and inner majesty. This is Imam Hasan, peace be upon him. Today, we explore his mystical and divine reality, how his life, character, and choices reflect a deeper spiritual truth, a truth that lies beyond the realms of politics and power. Imam Hasan was the son of Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib, alayhi salam, and Lady Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam, making him the first grandson of the Prophet Muhammad. This noble birth grants him a unique and sacred place in Islamic spiritual heritage. But his significance goes far deeper than lineage alone, than the inner tradition of Islam. One born of the Bayt, the family of the Prophet, is not merely a historical figure. His very being is a bridge between the visible and the invisible, between our earthly struggles and the promise of heavenly peace. It's said that Imam Hasan's chest was illuminated by the radiance of divine wisdom, a light that guided his every action. Let's delve into the virtues that defined his mystical character. Imam Hasan is widely described as being supremely patient, always choosing forbearance over conflict. In the spiritual path, patience, or sabr, is not passive waiting. It is a ladder to the divine. When a person stands firm and unmoved through trials, they reflect the ultimate reality of reliance on God. Their steadfastness becomes a mirror of divine constancy. This inner connection was profoundly evident in his worship. It's reported that whenever Imam Hasan performed ablution, a ritual washing before prayer, his body would tremble and his face would turn pale. When asked why, he explained, "It is only natural that one who stands in the presence of the Lord of the throne turns ashen and trembles." This wasn't a mechanical ritual for him. It was a moment of profound, conscious connection, a direct awareness of God's immense presence. This state of constant mindfulness is a key marker of a soul living in its divine reality. His generosity was legendary. He was known to give away his property to those in need and took special care of orphans and widows. It is narrated that during his time as the caliph, he would not eat his own meal until he was certain that the orphans in his neighborhood had been fed. The divine reality manifests most beautifully when the soul becomes a pure channel for God as mercy and kindness to flow into the world. He was also renowned for his deep wisdom and insight that was free from extremism and rigid conservatism. He possessed the rare ability to judge rightly and guide others with clarity and compassion. This shows us that one who reflects the divine reality can manifest divine wisdom in their worldly engagements without ever being consumed or corrupted by the world. There's a key hadith, a saying from the Prophet Muhammad, that perfectly anchors this understanding. The Prophet said, "This grandson of mine is a master. Perhaps Allah will reconcile two great groups of Muslims through him." Let's unpack this. First, the Prophet elevates Imam Hasan's spiritual status by calling him a Sayyid, a master. This isn't just about his noble birth. It signifies a leadership of the heart, a spiritual authority that inspires and guides. Second, the prophecy that Allah will reconcile to great groups has a clear historical fulfillment. Imam Hasan relinquished the caliphate to prevent further bloodshed and unify the Muslim community. But mystically, it points to an even deeper reality. It speaks of the unity of the soul with God, the healing of divisions within our own hearts, and the reconciliation of all believers under the banner of peace. Imam Hasan's spiritual mission was to heal, to unify, and to elevate a true hallmark of the divine reality manifesting through a human being. This brings us to his most significant act, the path of renunciation. After the martyrdom of his father, Imam Ali, Imam Hasan became the leader in a deeply fractured and challenging political climate. He eventually made a peace treaty with his rival, Muawiyah, to stop the civil war and prevent the Muslim community from tearing itself apart. From a purely worldly perspective, this might look like a retreat, but from a mystical viewpoint, it was the ultimate victory. Imam Hasan understood that the greater triumph is the one over the self, over the ego, and over the temptations of worldly power. When one renounces a lower desire for the sake of a higher love, in this case, the love for God and the well-being of his creation, one wins the true inner kingdom. His own words captured this philosophy perfectly. When asked about piety, he said, "It is yearning for virtue and no longing for this world." In Imam Hasan's life, we glimpse a divine alchemy. He turned outward ambition into inward worship and transformed the sword of conflict into the pen of compassion. He showed that true strength isn't in ruling over others, but in mastering oneself. So, what does this story mean for us today? We live in a world filled with uneasy divisions, hurried power plays, and a deep sense of spiritual emptiness. Imam Hasan's life offers a powerful antidote. He shows us that the divine reality isn't just reserved for prophets and imams. It is an invitation extended to every sincere heart. It invites us to stand in God's presence in every act we perform. It calls on us to serve rather than dominate, to build bridges rather than walls, and to choose inner unity over outer triumph. Remember the hadith, "This grandson of mine is a master." We, too, can link our hearts to this lineage of light when we choose peace, humility, and devotion in our own lives. The story of Imam Hasan is a mirror. In it, we see celestial wisdom shining through human clay. We see the soul's journey from noble heritage to profound inner awakening. We see the divine reality that becomes manifest not in the loudest voice or the strongest fist, but in the gentlest of hearts. May our lives reflect even a fragment of his light, and may we, like him, become instruments of unity, love, and peace. Thank you for watching.